Guys, how is everybody this morning? Holy goodness, it's been quite the hellish morning already. Look at this. Like, my hair is brushed, but it looks like absolute garbage. I have no makeup on. Um, yeah. So we don't have anything yet that I know of. Um, but the verdict's clock is 6 hours and 42 minutes. The jury got there this morning. People in the law and crime chat are insane. Just in case you needed a reminder of that. Hope everybody is having a better day than me. I was on hold at the bank. Yes, right. You're going to be on hold for a while. So I needed a check image, okay? Because the downside to my bank on their online platform, they don't allow you to have check images. So I had to call and get it from December. Well, here's the problem with that. The first person I talked to literally told me, "Okay, I've got it. I'm emailing it to you now." And they literally just sent me an email of my statement, something that I could get online. So I went on hold with somebody else, and she said that the email would be within the hour. So hopefully. So we are on verdict watch. For those of you who haven't been watching this trial with me, this is 17-year-old Collin Griffith. He is accused of unaliving his mother, Kathy Griffith, in the neck with a very sharp object, severing her carotid artery, her trachea, which is her windpipe, and her esophagus. There was no recovering from that. He told police that she fell on the knife. It was a 7-inch butcher's knife from the kitchen knife block, that everybody has. That really long blade that you use for chopping. Well, that went all the way through her neck, and she fell on it. He is claiming self-defense. The kicker to this is he is 17 years old, 19 months before he committed this crime, allegedly. And there's no denying that it happened. He's just claiming self-defense. So this was in September of 2024. Valentine's Day of 2023, he sent a wireless hole punch through his dad in a different state. Oh, awesome. All her flashcards are going in the, all the flashcards are going onto the floor. There's about 100 of them. So she only has like 30, and that's why I only give her 30. Oh, and there goes her flashcard reader. That's how my day is going right there. That is the epitome of what my day is. All over the floor. This is taking a lot longer than I thought it would. They left yesterday at 4:30, which was great because I thought I was going to work last night and I wasn't going to be able to do a stream for verdict watch. But while we were waiting, we have some other cases that we're looking into, and also things that I kind of need to do research on. So Baker County. For those of you interested in the What the Hills cases, the Trespass 5 and the thumbnail hearings that were supposed to be today are moved to April 16th. And hold on, Mr. Squid is calling me. I have to take this phone call, so please talk amongst yourselves. Well, there's that. We worked out a deal. Um, um, I just have to text my lender real quick. There we go. All done. Yeah, I know. It's not a confidential thing because I was literally just saying okay and yes, and I got it, and that works. Um, so and the only I covered my mouth for the only thing that I had to say that was um not and it all it had to do with was really need to remember how I wanted to grow my channel. Well, now I need to grow my channel. Not it's not a want anymore, it's a need. But the deal will work out. It's just not as cakewalky as we thought it was. Oh, yesterday. I'm in the camp of right now, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So that Mr. Squid called me because of the fact that I am not physically able to speak to my lender right now, being respectful. Because of it's not what she said to me yesterday, it's how she said it. And you know when like someone gives you bad news, but they give it to you in a way that it's like, okay, we dropped the ball between the two of us, or everybody contributed instead of she put this all on me. And oh yeah, I was. Oh, I was fired up, and I'm still fired up at her because I think I think I think corners were being cut, and me never having gone through this process before, especially dealing with an inheritance and the laws around receiving an inheritance right around the same time that you bought a house. What she wanted to do, the lawyer for my grandfather's estate said, "Hell no." And there was a big old disconnect between what what squid policy, if you don't no, this is where like this is where this is where if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Let the person that can keep their cool better than you can do the talking. And that's what he had discussed a proposed deal where we would do some refinancing in the future, but that would bump up our mortgage from a reasonable amount to a not a amount that we were ever comfortable with. So there's that. So it was a if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all kind of mentality in my mind. But we are going to do some refinancing in the future, probably hopefully at a lower interest rate as well. And it will work out fine. It just for the next 6 months, I'm gonna have to be busting my butt to bring in extra income. So that means picking up more hours at work. Um, well, it's it's not that I got it, it's that I just got it. Like I got it in December and we went under contract in January. So it was the time frame. And what she wanted to do would have screwed over my father and the estate. Um, and I didn't realize that at the time that I agreed to it. Um, and yeah. So it wasn't that I did it. It's not that I got the inheritance. It's that um, it's the timing. I haven't had it because my grandfather died in August. I got the inheritance after his house sold. Um, and that was going to be my down payment. Well, we went under contract. Yeah. Well, it also depends on the time because I got an email yesterday that apparently my lender and my dad got into a discussion yesterday, and neither one of them thought the other one was being respectful, which just drives up my anxiety a little more. And and it was like Mr. Squid had to or talked to my father on the phone, and it actually was a productive conversation. They need to do that more, just under better circumstances. And no, we are going to see more, because even the little $2 that I get in ad revenue, on a What the Hales video. Well, I don't know if he cussed somebody out. I don't have privy to that conversation. All I know is from what Mr. Squid told me, my dad did not receive what she said very well. And she did not receive the way my dad spoke very well. So everybody's kind of because I get this intensity from him. And, him being taller and bigger than me, he has an intimidating presence. Sometimes he still intimidates me. Yeah, you think it shouldn't be, but it is. So, yeah, but it's gonna work out. It's just for the next 6 months until we can refinance. Gonna have to contribute more financially than ever, and because I don't have a super real job, YouTube is going to be my YouTube is going to be my hustle, and I'm going to need to work harder than I ever. I mean, YouTube is fun, don't get me wrong, but like YouTube is work. And this is going to be an interesting experience. I am looking up right now. So the cases I'm covering, the cases that we're covering, we have this one going to verdict. In Florida, we have Sarah Boone's appeal. We also have Levy County case, the thumbnail case. The only reason I'm paying attention to that is because it's now that it's being dropped. This is interesting how our legal system works. Just because one side wants to drop something does not mean that it just goes away. And this is part of when this first happened. When this first happened, everybody was like, "Oh, it's over." And well, not everybody, but some people were like, "It's over." And I kept repeating, "It's not over." There was a February 5th hearing. I guarantee you that hearing will still be going on, just like in the Laura Owens case, how even though she wanted to drop it, the side for Clayton Echard and his lawyers were like, she wants to drop it, but there's still the issue of sanctions, fees, perjury, all of this stuff. So, Flash fan, and I know you are busy with other things, and the What the Hales local case or local Florida state or the state cases are not your forte on your mind, but there is a thumbnail case where Scott Stark was Lynette's lawyer and was suing Jeremy Hale's DUI guy, DJ Radis, and obviously George. If Jeremy is included, so is George. And I can't remember if it was anybody else, but they were basically suing because of using Lynette's image in thumbnails on YouTube. So that case was interesting because depending on where that case would go, that impacts every YouTuber, because every YouTuber uses somebody's image in a thumbnail. Usually they're stock images from that are online, or that have been posted by the people, because once you post a picture online, it's online. Like once you post a picture online. So that case was, yeah, and that was it, those 4. Yeah, and Gabby, it was crazy because it was like it seemed like a frivolous lawsuit, but depending on what the judge said, that could set a precedent for every YouTuber ever to get sued by the people they talked about in their videos. So it's, yeah. And this, Tammy, you bring up a really good point, because a lot of the people who were, I can't say they're not familiar with the legal process because they aren't a LawTube follower. They were a What the Hales follower that managed to find their way into LawTube, the true crime and court streaming section of YouTube, because of the What the Hales cases. So there was, yeah, that's why it was interesting to me. I thought it was a frivolous, yeah, that's true too. Paisley Chicken, you bring up a really good point too. So it's a lot of the people that I interacted with in certain groups were like, well, it's over. And I said, it's not over. And somebody actually like wanted to try to berate me on Facebook about it being over because one side dropped it. And I was like, that's not how this works. That's not how our legal system works. Both sides have to agree to drop it, and the judge has to approve the motion to dismiss. Well, sometimes when a judge goes, well, you were pushing this, and all of a sudden you want to drop it, why? And there's also the case of Jeremy's side and DJ Radis and DUI guy's side being like, you forced a frivolous lawsuit on us. You forced us to hire lawyers. You forced us to spend money on lawyers, and now you just want it to go away? No. Yeah. Suing a lawyer was probably the dumbest move ever. Yep, motions for sanctions due to not dropping the case during the safe harbor first 21 days. And that's it. Plus, it's the sanctions of filing a frivolous lawsuit and being a vexatious litigant. The fact that Scott Stark was deposed and basically admitted to the fact that he was Bubbles' puppet, which is never a good thing. So there's that. And those cases were supposed to have a hearing today. Well, I found out yesterday that those hearings, there was a 1:00 one for the trespass 5, and there was a 2:00 one with the same judge for the thumbnail, and they both were moved to April 16th, which is a Wednesday. So I probably will never understand this whole story. It's like Game of Thrones, too many characters to keep track of. And that is why I only really just read the legal documents, and I just pay attention to what happens in the court with the filings, with hearings, because I could not keep up with this whole dramatic situation from the start. There's too many players. There's too much ins and outs. There's a 3-year history. And my thought process was, everybody on both sides is getting way too personally invested. I am going to try to stay neutral, in the sense of I'm only going to look at the court filings and base my interpretations of things based on what the judge says, based on what is written in the filings, how each lawyer does their persuasive writing, and go from there. However, in the act of staying neutral, one side says, I don't always agree with what you say, but you do you. It's your channel. Thank you for at least covering it. And the other side wanted to go after my daughter. So in the event of staying neutral, I tend to lean more to the side that didn't attack me. So it's yeah. And if you've paid attention to Tug and Megan doing her investigative journalism work, there is issues and players in this case, as far as a certain underage involved party who I will not be saying her name because I try to be respectful with children and not say their names on stream, especially if they can't help what is happening. So it's have a good one. I'll see you in a little bit. So there's just too many people, and every time you think it can't get any weirder or more insane, something else comes up. And I leave that part to the people who are better at that than I am. I just follow strictly what happens in the court filings and how those filings are written. And sorry, I just think Bubbles writes from all the documents that I've ever read in all my time of reading legal documents, which was before I started a YouTube channel. I have never seen some things that he has been doing. I have never seen, with the exception of Gingras, I've never seen someone play something out in the court of public opinion versus the court of law. So as we are waiting for this going on, I want to look up yeah, and that's why when people try to bring up to me, and that's why I'm following it from just the legal side, because of the fact that, one, I can't keep track of all the drama over the last 3 years in Levy County, and then prior to that in Northport. There's just too much. Plus, as we've learned in the Collin Griffith case, prime example of it's not about what we know as individuals and the context of the last 3 years or longer. It's about what the judge sees. It's about what the judge rules on, and it's about what the judge lets the jury see. As we've learned in this case, just because facts are facts does not mean that the jury is going to know all these facts. Such as the Collin Griffith case, that he unalived his dad with a freedom seed thrower. I believe once in the head, once in the chest. Don't quote me on that one, but that's what I remember hearing. We know that he killed his dad. The judge knows that he killed his dad. All of the parties know that he killed his dad. The jury does not know that he killed his dad. The jury knows that he killed somebody, but they have no idea who that person is in relation to him. I believe that the jury is taking a long time because they are being methodical about things. But I also believe that they would take less time to come back with a guilty verdict if they knew that he unalived his dad. However, because they don't know that he unalived his dad 18 or 19 months before unaliving his mother, that changes things. So I am just taking the approach of, let's see this as jurors. Let's see this as what the jury will see, and not what we know as outsiders. Something tells me they're not disputing the murder charge. I think they are, based on their question from yesterday about wanting the testimonies of the neighbors, I believe they are hung up on the kidnapping charge. So that's where I'm at. And maybe there's a holdout, maybe, but I think they're hung up on what charges that he's guilty of, not that he's guilty. Yes, don't forget to leave the DNA on all the YouTube buttons, preferably the up, but the down works too. Yeah, and they only deliberated for 4 hours yesterday, and I think if they make it through today, they're gonna leave at like 4:30 again, because I have the feeling that there is a juror or two that have family commitments, like picking children up from school or things like that, that they don't have anybody else to handle, and they need to do parental duties. So as much as a lot of people found it weird that they left yesterday at 4:30, it I think it was somebody has parental obligations that they can't find anybody else to help with. Also, it was funny this morning watching the chat in the law and crime, and now I understand why I never pay attention to the law and crime chat, because the judge wanted them there at 8:30 again this morning, just like normal. Just like every day they've arrived at 8:30. Well, when the judge brought them into the courtroom this morning, um, not everybody, but some people in the chat were like, "Oh, there's a verdict. Oh, there's a verdict." I'm like, they just got there. There's no verdict yet. So yeah, it is kind of a toxic chat. It's also because there's so many people that it's just there's so many people that have separate conversations, and like there's people blocking each other, and it's like if you think some chats are bad, you should head into the law and crime chat and check out. Yeah, law and crime. Yeah, and they are still just showing, this is what we see, just the state right here. So they have the verdicts clock up today, which they did not have yesterday. But we are going to look for documents. Yesterday, I was trying to court TV chat was a little better. Lauren crime. Oh, that's hilarious. The chat is just kind of toxic, and that's why I just go like that. And I need to keep doing that more. There is no new updates in the case of in the federal case this morning. The judge hasn't responded yet. There's just something in there that says action required by judge. Yeah, with the way things are going now, getting 12 people to agree on anything. That is a very good point. We are going to look at, oh, little one. Why are you playing in water? She spilled all her water out over the floor. Well, or over the table. One of the reasons that I feel like that happens is because Florida is so easy to get documents, and they allow cameras in the courtroom a lot easier than most other states. Because of their sunshine laws and their need to, or their requirement to be transparent with a lot of things, Florida is just generally easier. Yeah. Fast juries scare me. A good jury will review all the evidence and talk it out, individual findings, then come to a consensus. I have to grab a towel for her because literally this cup of water was filled. So she's been taking the straw and going like this and dumping out all the water on the table. So Mama needs to grab a towel. All right, it is not perfect, but it is much better. Um, it's gonna take one more towel to dry, but this is where we find ourselves, and this is what happens when you have a toddler. Yeah, some cases are so clear when the evidence is presented that it should not take hours for a verdict. There's also filling out the dude, you knocked over that water. Yep, that's it. Uh she's cleaning. Yeah, that's true. She's forcing me to clean. Which is probably the way it should be, actually. It's just one of those situations where I don't think that they're deliberating on the guilt of the unaliving charge. It's the kidnapping charge, because of the fact that none of the neighbors thought it was a big deal, even though one of them specifically said, I grew up in Chicago, where when something happens, you just mind your business. Which is a really good point, actually, because a lot of people just mind their business because they don't want to get involved. It's the bystander effect. That's one of those things, like, you see someone being beaten in the street and a lot of people recording, but nobody stepping in to do anything because people are very sue happy these days, as evidenced by the case we talked about a little while ago. And it's just one of those situations of nobody wants to get involved. So it happens way too often. I am working on this case. This is the third amended complaint and supplemental class action complaint for the declaratory and injunctive relief. Plaintiffs Andrew J. Brigida, Pollyanna Wang, Susan Reebok, Matthew Douglas Cook, and through their attorneys, hereby filed third amended and supplemental class action complaint for the declaratory and injunctive relief against the above-named defendant on behalf of themselves and the class they seek to represent. This is against the Department of Transportation, specifically the FAA. Yeah, I'm not thinking hung jury. I'm just thinking they're hung up on that kidnapping charge, because the law has such a technical definition of kidnapping. What we think is kidnapping isn't really kidnapping, and what we might not think of kidnapping is kidnapping, in the sense of all kidnapping technically is, in the eyes of the law, is preventing somebody from leaving a situation that they otherwise would be able to leave on their own. But because the defense kept saying that she did not go into the house against her will, even though he had her by the hair, yeah, needing for the first degree is being questioned. It's one of those situations of, what do you interpret as against her will? Because yes, she technically walked, but when you're being pulled by the hair, you tend to go in the direction that someone's taking you. You tend not to stay in the same situation as you are, because if you do, you're either going to get your hair ripped out, or you're going to fall and be dragged and get injuries on your legs and possible broken bones and all of that stuff. So it's like, technically she went on her own volition, but did she? And that's a very big distinction, and I think the jury is struggling with that, because they said it seemed like the defense kept stressing the fact that she walked into the house. Well, it's kind of one of those things that, like, I object, let me pull your hair and see where, if you start walking in the direction I want you to walk. Just because she walked doesn't mean she wasn't forced. Um, it's just one of those, like, it's like if someone has a pew pew in your side, you're gonna generally go in the direction they want you to go in, even though you're technically walking, you're not walking on your own volition. I believe that's a minor, it's a technical, there could be a technicality there that the jury is struggling with. Um, so I will be going over this um sometime in the next couple of days. Um, this is the class action lawsuit against the DOT in the air traffic control candidates that were not hired, are claiming they were not hired because they are the wrong skin color, i.e., the same skin color as me, which is an interesting thing, because this could open up, and this lawsuit's been going on since 2015. There's 208 documents in the on the docket. It is scheduled to go to trial this year. We'll see if where it actually goes. There's also, I still have to go through all the documents. I'm trying to pick and choose wisely because 208 documents is hundreds of dollars that I really don't have to spend on documents. So there's trying to pick and choose, but it looks like they are trying to dismiss it because a certain person that's in the White House now is trying to eliminate the DEI hires and hire based on merit, which I agree with, hiring based on merit. However, this happened back in 2015. So the government trying to get it dismissed now because of the law changing, or the, it's just, oh yeah. I was hoping they streamed the Illinois case where the cop out took out the African American lady. I don't think the judge likes cameras. Yeah, Illinois is one of the least transparent states as far as documents, just their government being open about anything. Whereas Florida is like, yep, here's the crazy, here's all on display. You can get whatever documents that you want that are available to the public easily. Like, it's just something that you don't see on a lot of other states. Wisconsin is kind of easy. You can at least see the charges. Wisconsin has CCAP. So this is Wisconsin circuit court access. Like, you can type anybody and figure out anybody, the charges that they've had against them in their entire life. It's super simple. Yeah, I've never actually tried to get a court motion, but let's see. Let's see. Let's just type in that for just for reference, because he was I don't want Kewaunee County. I want Kenosha County. And so here, state of Wisconsin versus Kyle Howard Rittenhouse. So it's, you can't, you don't really find the, you don't really have the record. Well, you don't really have the documents, but you have the record. So this is Wisconsin. So it's you find some things, but you don't have others. So documents aren't available, but you know, civil judgments, court costs, $276. Paid to the court, $279.07. So it's just one of those situations of you can find the charges easily, but you cannot someplace called Whitewater. Yeah, there's a college there. That's pretty much the only thing in Whitewater. It's highway robbery, $279 for a unaliving case. Trial is not that bad, actually, considering I paid like $100 or $150 for a court costs for a speeding ticket. Well, it was technically a reckless driving ticket because in Virginia, anything over 19 over the speed limit is reckless driving, and I was going like 25 over the speed limit because I was lost. So we are going to look up more county clerks, Polk County, Hillsborough County. There we go. Some websites, I've learned that some Florida counties, you just need to do this, like this. Online records, court record search. That they have a bunch of counties. They don't have every county, though. So I'm assuming these are the counties that are more rural and don't have as many cases. So it's this is where I get the Levy County stuff from. Levy County Clerk Court. But Hillsborough County is other services, and I can't remember where I search court records. There we go. And the downside to every county in the US is every county is different. So it's just one of those situations where you never know what you're going to get, even in the same state. Do you have his name? I can look him up. And we are still on jury watch or verdict watch. There's still nothing. Verdict clock is at 7 hours and 26 minutes, 26 cents. Oh, wait. I told you, it's been a long morning already. Like, a long morning. So we are, and I have so many tabs open because that's just what I do. Let me close some of these tabs. Chad Richards. I will write that name down and see if I can find anything later. So there will be times when I don't want to stream, but I will anyway because we's gonna have to step up our bill paying game because things just got a lot more expensive than any of us were anticipating. But at the same time, it works. It works. It's gonna work. It's gonna work, and our closing date will possibly stay the same, which is half the battle right now because I was so stressed out, and I accidentally insulted Mr. Squid yesterday. And any of y'all who have spouses who have been together for a while or known each other for a while, you realize that you accidentally insult them when you're not actually talking about them. Because I didn't go to work yesterday so that Mr. Squid and I could talk about what was going to happen, and how we were going to proceed with the unfortunate situation we now found ourselves in. And I said, being in my state of anger, I said, this is why I don't get my hopes up for anything, because I always get let down. I don't get my hopes up for anything. And he looked at me and was like, gee, thanks. And I was like, I didn't mean it in relation to you. I just meant in general. This is why even when I was a kid, like when I had a party, I expected that nobody would show up. That way I was pleasantly surprised when people did because people always let you down and I never get my hopes up for shit. Like um I also am trying to get better at recording videos and editing. They're super short, so they don't do a whole lot of like income, but they YouTube doesn't always like live streams. They like videos. Um, so like if um he didn't, but he just looked at me like, "Gee," and it literally was like, "Gee, thanks." And I was like, "I didn't mean it like that." Like, I didn't mean it like that. Um, I need to get better at dissecting my streams, and I've done it a couple of times where I've cut out a section of my live streams, and posted them as a separate video so that people who don't want to sit through a 2 to 3 hour live stream can get the information and the document that they need and that they wanted without having to be replay crew on a 3 hour live stream. And that's also why I don't like I try to keep my live streams around 2 to 3 hours tops because I have a hard time sitting and paying attention to an extended live stream on replay crew, especially when I want to be like, I need information about this topic, and it's 2.5 hours into a 5 hour live stream. I don't have the patience to sit like that. So, um, I, yeah, and that's why Night Court was created because I get a 8 hour court date. Those are my longest streams because I get an 8 hour day of court into like 3 hours, or we try to do as much as we can in 3 hours of a live stream. And people know what they're getting. Um, I don't. I'm trying to take what I like from other people's channels and adopting that into my own, um, and making it my own, but taking the best of what I see that I like from other people. What's up? Okay. You want your water? Okay. Do we need to change your pants? Okay. Okay. Yeah. But that's why Night Court was created for people that want to trial watch but don't have the time to sit through. And it's for me, it's not so much the time. Yes, I have other stuff to do around the house. I have a attention span problem, if you haven't noticed. So I try to tailor my streams to other people who have attention span problems. Because even though I haven't formally been diagnosed with ADHD, I'm quite positive that ADHD is my friend. Um, so we're trying to get into different things, and I never thought this channel would have over like 150 members or 150 subscribers. Um, we Yeah, Taylor's Business was in Green Bay, Brown County. So I was going to look up Hillsborough County, which was Florida. I am looking up stuff to talk about. Whoa, my there we go. My mouse just went crazy. Ooh, that's a really bad picture right now. Ah, why is my uh-oh. There we go. Like I can't see anybody. My mouse isn't working. There we go. We are, and I'm gonna mute the court audio because that's where that feedback is coming from. But we have to look up, and the attorney is it for some reason I could not find Dr. Joe's case when I looked up his name, but when I looked up his attorney's bar number, it came up really quickly. So we are going to view. See, this is what I need to do. But I need a citation number, and I don't have one. So let's see. Case details. Let's see if there's any new documents. Hello, ma'am. How are you? We're talkative today. Events. And this is where it gets a little confusing. In Orange County, Florida? Ooh. North of Chicago, Kenosha. There it goes Kenosha, Racine, Milwaukee. Those are the counties on the lake. Orange County, Florida. Oh, that should be a good one. So, here we go. Notice of there was a couple of filings in January, but nothing since. But is it actually removed to federal? So let's go back here where I can see y'all. Anthony Shea. I will look up that right after this. So here's the last thing, and I believe because remember, here's why I'm following this case specifically, not just because I love Dr. Joe and I need him to return to YouTube as soon as possible, but he is being represented by Nicholas Whitney, which, if you followed the Take Care of Maya case, Nick Whitney was like Maya's older brother lawyer, and that's the other case we have to look up. So this is the notice of removal to the Middle District of Florida, Tampa Division. As a result, the Hillsborough County Circuit Court is prohibited from proceeding further in this action until the action is remanded. Copies of all future pleadings and filings or papers filed in the United States District Court must be served on the undersigned counsel. So Dr. Joe is officially in the Middle District of yeah. I've been watching that on Shizzy's channel. That's where I first started following that, and that's another one where it's like too many players and too much stuff. Here you go, honey. Here you go. Here you go, baby girl. Hi. You gotta come over here. You gotta come over here. Please don't knock my printer off the shelf, please. I have my printer sitting on my filing cabinet right here, and it's she's pushing on it. And I'm like, please don't knock over our printer, the last good thing I got from my mother-in-law. So, and we are still waiting on this is our what we see in a so because of that, I am going to look up Pacer and see if I can find documents on Pacer. And this is where it gets screwy because Pacer is a I will look up that one. Middle District of Florida. Middle District of Florida. This is what Pacer looks like right now. So not only did I just it's one of those situations of like it's complicated. Pacer is, I'm glad I have a Pacer account. That's all I can say. It took, I want to say, 2 months between the time that I requested an account and the time I was given an account. So it's one of those just random. I'm currently looking up the Middle District of Florida. Florida Middle District. There we go. Apparently, I need to work on my my ABCs, because I can't tell Florida. I went all the way down to the bottom, and I'm like, no, I'm not in Wisconsin anymore. I'm looking up Florida. Okay. Why isn't it letting me? And Pacer is not cooperating right now. I keep hitting submit to search, and it's not. It is not working. Hey, nope. We are still on verdict watch. We are still right here, and I'll bring it up so that I can see it. 7 hours and 40 minutes. I kind of want to do a before or after lunch, or today. Will they even come up with a verdict today? So I'm just going to go to Orange County, because if Orange County is not, if Pacer is not going to work for me today, we'll just go to Orange County. So here is, and I'm pulling out the verdict watch, and I'm making it a smaller thing so I can see it. And I can see if there's any movement on the camera without having to be. All right. Angel, can you stop hitting that filing cabinet? She's just tamping. Anthony John Shea II. I arrested an Orange County major a decade ago. He was picking up cocaine from Miami in his county-assigned vehicle and transporting it to Orlando for distribution. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. I mean, well, damn. How did you get involved? Like, if he was in his county-assigned vehicle, how did you arrest him? Did you pull him over because they knew? Because it's not very often that you see a cop pull over another cop car. So, it's supposed to be 75-ish and not very many clouds in the sky today. So as soon as I'm done with the stream, we're going outside to play. Mama's working out. The little is playing. Anthony Shea. And this is pretty easy. This is probably the easiest count, or the easiest website to navigate. Tiffany Moore Russell is the Orange County clerk. Whoever made her website, or if she had anything to do with it, what do you mean it's the second case? Because this is civil traffic infraction. That's the second case. So the first one is open. The first one is the criminal felony that's open. So this is, where's my, Let's see. Yeah, there's only one case that was open, and it was the top of the. So maybe when you looked, that civil traffic infraction was still open, and the unaliving should be you can do arrest affidavit. Let's see. First degree unaliving with a firearm. Let's go back. Yeah, I mean it's Orange County. They should, or they should, but we'll see. So, advice to defendant first appearance in October. There we go. So, in the Circuit Court of Orange County, Florida, Anthony Shea, advice to defendant first appearance. It doesn't have anything, like, that's weird. It's signed, but it doesn't. It does say high profile at the top, but it doesn't have anything clicked. I've been advised by the judge. He doesn't have anything. There's nothing here. So why that's on there, I don't know, but I will download it. I'll make a file for this case in Discord. Let's see. Affidavit of insolvency and indigency. I can never say that word. Angel, you realize you locked yourself in the playroom, right? Okay. As long as you realize that. She closed the baby gate. She knows how to close it. She doesn't know how to open it. So she just locked herself in the baby gate in the playroom, one side of the playroom. So if you hear her start crying and me have to go unlock it for her, it's because she figured out that she So Anthony Shea, I'm seeking the appointment of a public defender. You have 2 dependents, retirement pension money. Oy, yoy. He's got really bad handwriting. You might have to find an article. Yeah, I will see what they have. The arrest affidavit. Affidavit to issue warrant. So so there's this. In the Circuit Court of the 9th Judicial Circuit in and for Orange County, Florida. 6 foot, 200-pound, bald, blue eyes. Oh, girl, how'd you get out? Did you go around? Like, I just told you she locked herself in the playroom, right? Or on one side of the playroom. She's never quite figured out that she can go the other way yet. Hi, honey. Oh, hi. Okay. Hold on, baby. Hey. You want to say hi? Curl this one curl. See, this is why I can't do her hair. She didn't jump the gate because if she jumped the gate, she'd rip it out of the wall. There's a gate on the other side too that closes differently. She probably went that way and went around. I just didn't see. Achoo. Achoo. Here, honey. I see you. I see you. Doesn't sound like she said I'll kill you. She says I see you because her and Daddy play this game of I get you. She looks at him and she says I get you and starts running the other direction and wants him to chase her. And yeah. So hey, everybody says hi. Hey, bum, ba bum, ba bum. Hey, you silly girl. Girl, your pants are all wet. Oh, Stats, thank you for the $1.49 super sticker. We are currently on, it's your banana fund. Yeah, we are currently on verdict watch for Collin Griffith. It has been 7 hours and 49 minutes. I'm so glad that Law and Crime put their verdict watch or their verdict counter up. So, oh, and hey, Stats, I hope you're feeling better. So let's read this arrest report, shall we? So while we're going on verdict watch, we're just talking about researching and kind of having a chill stream about other topics. I want to see this case because I want to see the chief chief judge, because the lady chief judge, the Casey Anthony, English is hard, was biased. Yeah, I honestly don't remember a whole lot about the Casey Anthony trial as far as like parties involved. So state of Florida, county of Orange. Comes now the affiant detective Christopher Gilberti. Ooh, girl, we need to go change. Sworn law enforcement officer to wit, a deputy sheriff for the Orange County Sheriff's Office, Florida. Submitted via secure electronic filing system before below signed judge, the Honorable Greg A. Tynan. Judge in and for Orange County, Florida, 9th Judicial Circuit, who makes this affidavit and states under oath that the affiant has probable cause to believe that certain laws have been violated. Orange County, Florida, and then between Monday, October 14th, 2024, the defendant Anthony John Shea did violate Florida statutes and commit the offense of first-degree murder with a firearm. Oy, oy, oy. Thanks. This is kind of like one of those chill research, whatever the chat wants to talk about streams, because we're just waiting on court. So, and waiting on court is quite possibly the most boring section. Both of them were cops. Yeah, I believe our resident Florida law enforcement, I believe retired law enforcement. Jeff, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that Orange County homicide case is interesting. She was a lieutenant, I believe, and he was a deputy, separated. So it's going to get interesting. And this might be the next one that I want to follow. The downside with following cases from the beginning and not just doing trial streaming is not every case that we follow goes all the way through. Some people plead, some are not streamed, and you just have to kind of keep up with what's going on based on news reports. So it's one of the downsides of following a case from the start to the end. Luckily, Collin Griffith was from the very beginning and streamed. So there's kind of a plus side to that one. So let's get back into this. Commit the offense of C1 first-degree murder with a firearm. Florida statute 782.041A. I like that they put the Florida statute, because sometimes I like to look up what these statutes actually say. It makes it's one of those, you always learn something. Your affiant, Detective Christopher Gilberti, badge number 6856, is and has been since February 23rd, 2012, a duly sworn deputy sheriff with the Orange County Sheriff's Office in Florida. I have received training in numerous topics relating to conducting criminal investigations. My knowledge and expertise include conducting criminal investigations relating to death, shootings, homicide, murder, narcotics, and robbery. Your affiant, in the course of their official duties, have come to investigate on October 14th at 14:12, 20 hours, The Orange County Sheriff's Office Communications Center received a 911 call in reference to an unresponsive female with a gunshot wound. On October 14th, 2024 at 14:15 hours, the Orange County Sheriff's Office Sector 2 patrol were dispatched to that address within Orange County on October 14th, 2024 at 14:18 and 02 hours. Deputy sheriffs arrived on scene and made contact with the male caller who was actively providing CPR to the female victim. Orange County Fire and Rescue 68 responded and took over rescue efforts. The female was transported to Advent Health East Hospital, where Dr. Mary McLean pronounced the female deceased at 15:04. The female was identified as Eloilda Shea, a resident of that address. Yeah, I know, Flash fan, I know. It's I know what you said. That's why I joked that it said chef, and then I just corrected it because I knew what you were trying to say. But sometimes autocorrect and trying to type quickly just doesn't work. Deputy sheriffs made contact with the male 911 caller, who was identified as husband Anthony Shea. Anthony Shea advised he just left the residence to go to Publix and get Brussels sprouts. That's oddly specific. And it's one of those, I have noticed that when people are lying, they tend to give you details that are not important. Like, instead of just saying I was at Publix, because if you were having a normal conversation with, say, Flash Fan and I were talking, and I was like, yeah, I went to Publix. I was getting groceries at Publix. I don't tell you what individual groceries I was getting because it's a detail that's not important. But to tell sheriff's deputies that you went to Publix for Brussels sprouts is very oddly specific and not important. So when you're describing the actions that took place around someone's death, giving unimportant details just makes me think that this person is lying. They're trying to be so specific in the fact that, oh, I'm being specific. Angel, please stop. Please stop. Oh, she's hitting the side of the filing cabinet, and then when I tell her to stop, she laughs at me and goes, like, smile, hey, I'm doing it. You told me not to, and I'm gonna do it anyway. Yeah, he should have just said he went to get pizza from Pizza Hut. Like, you just say, I ran to Publix real quick. That's it. But to get that specific, Anthony Shea advised and I know I'm saying this name wrong, and I apologize. Eloilda Shea had been fighting for 3 days. Anthony Shea said, I cheated on her. There's an investigation. I quit because it was so embarrassing. Last night, she said, Tony, I can't handle it anymore. Anthony Shea advised he left the residence at 13:30. Anthony Shea remained on scene to speak with detectives. Anthony Shea provided consent to the Orange County Sheriffs to process the scene. Publix is a grocery store. It's kind of a bougier grocery store. They put one in the town that we're moving back to. I still have, since it opened, I still have yet to actually go there because I'm an Aldi shopper and a Walmart shopper, not a Publix shopper. Because yeah, Publix is a little more bougie than my my wallet can provide, especially now. I mean, I guess it's good in the sense of like, okay, we've got it worked out and we're gonna get the house, but it's now I'm gonna have to be busting my butt even more. So not that I'm, begging for breadstick money or banana funds, but if you've got extra banana funds that you're willing to part with and you like my content, I would be willing to accept your banana funds. Talk about really bad at grifting. Talk about really, really bad at grifting. Like y'all can totally make fun of me for that because the people that accuse me of grifting really have absolutely no idea how bad at grifting that I actually am. I don't even say 95% of the time in my streams to like and subscribe. I totally forget that because I'm just talking to friends and I forget that this is a job. And it's a OnlyFans account. They pay me to put my clothes back on. Oh my god, JKD Buck, you broke me with that one. Oh my god. And hey, it's me. How are you this morning? Oh, oh my goodness. Sorry, JKD Buck, you broke me. He will not plead guarantee that. He will defend the charges to the end, since first or second murder will be a death sentence either way. First by injection or second by prison inmates, my opinion only. And you bring up a really good you bring up a really good point about when former law enforcement go to prison. They are not very well liked. Yeah. Hey, it will be an emergency if little squid doesn't have bananas now, not even a joke. Yeah. And for 6 months, until we can refinance and actually use the inheritance funds to put towards our mortgage, because my inheritance was half of the selling of the house. So you can imagine what real estate prices are this year, or this year. And you can understand how that is not a tiny, insignificant amount of money. So that would reduce our mortgage by $600 to $700 a month. So, so yeah. So for 6 months, we're going to need to budget for an extra large mortgage payment that we did not budget for. So there's that. So if y'all see me like doing weird shit for the grift, mind your business. either contribute or mind your business. I can't even say that with a straight face. This is how bad I am at grifting. I tried to learn the art of the grift from Jeff, but he was very good at it. I was very not. He had doggo cam. I don't have doggo cam. I don't even have a second camera. Like, yeah. Like, huh. Yeah. So if y'all see me do, hustling a little more and being a little bit more um with the weird grift, I don't know. No, no, no. No, they'd pay me to put my clothes back on. Nobody wants to see all this jiggling shit. Like my workout streams, part of the reason that I don't do them anymore is I only had like 5 people watching. Do you know how hard it is to work out on stream? And then when you get like nothing for it except for to look sweaty and really gross on camera, no, there's a reason I don't know Motivation Mondays anymore. I mean, I eventually want to start back. Maybe I can get 10 to 15 people watching, but like the streams that I think are the most important in education or just making sure like knowledge of our government and how our government actually works, what the hell our government spends money on, weird things like that, or the stuff like Captain Kern and Tessa's story. Like those are what I feel like the most important streams that I do. And they are some of the least viewed streams. So I have to mix doing what I really want to cover and educate people on how our legal system actually works from a layperson's perspective. I'm obviously not a lawyer, but like the more we know about how our government and how our legal system actually works and what people's jobs are actually supposed to be, the easier it is to hold people accountable. Because if we don't know what people's jobs are and what their actual job descriptions are and what they're supposed to be in charge of, it's hard for us to hold them accountable to their job if we don't know what their job actually is. So lots of people pay me No, and nobody like sorry, the first time that I've always hated feet. So there's a little fun fact about squid that you didn't really need to know. That's maybe why I call myself squid because I don't have feet, I have tentacles. Um, and yeah, and somebody is gonna clip that, I know. And you know what? That would be hilarious actually. Um, and nobody wants to see that either. I do have a merch store, and I need to start promoting my merch store more. Um, I have Unhinged on the internet, and I also have a Derailed merchandise, and then just basic this Squid Pro Quo logo. So, you know, if she's not careful and attempt to scare around victims' rights representation by a prosecutor, then she will find herself back on the unemployment run when removed again. Ooh. Oh, not surprised by going capital with the Soros paid state attorney. Yeah, and yeah, there's a thing with that too. All right, so let's get back to the arrest affidavit from this case in Orange County, Florida. And I'm just writing. You know how I take notes so I don't forget stuff. I'm just writing. Literally, I have everything y'all are mentioning to me. I'm writing down so that when I go back and research later. It's a cool name considering, or Squid Pro Quo is Latin for Queen of the Petty First. So, Flash fan, did I ever tell you the story of how I actually got my name? So, I'm going to stop this screen because for those of you who are new here or who haven't heard this story before, I got my Squid Pro Quo. I was watching the Daily Wire sports show, and I'm not a fan of like the Daily Wire management, especially with what went down with Brett Cooper recently. That's a story for another show. But their sports show I like because they cover sports and they cover sports only and they don't put their politics into sports. Like ESPN now puts their politics into sports, which I can't stand. It's and Robert, I just got your email. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just got sent a picture of his great niece and nephew. She's 2 and he's about 5 months, and he sent me a picture. They are stinking adorable. They are so stinking cute. It's not even funny. Like, and you can tell they're brother and sister, but she's holding him, and it's the most freaking adorable thing I've ever seen. Besides present company, because she's the most adorable thing I've ever seen. Even when she was a baby, and all newborns look a little alienish. She was still. Hold on, I have to go stop her from hurting herself. Come here, baby. Oh no, Mommy's gonna take that from you. Thank you. Hey. Thank you. Girl. Hey. You're okay. You're okay. Oh, baby. Oh, beautiful girl. I know. Mommy's so mean. Mommy's so mean for taking that away from you. I know. She got into a package of hardware for baby proofing stuff and decided to spew it all over the place. Ow. One of these days you're gonna go to like daycare, go to the park with some other kids, you're gonna hit one and they're gonna hit you back. Yeah. Yeah, this picture is, I can't remember what happened, but I think I was on stream with somebody, and Rosalind took that screenshot and sent it to me, and I'm like, I have to use this. I have to. Hey, you want to come? Hey, here. There you go. There you go. Oh, if Bruce is watching, I gave her my iPad and the Apple Pencil so she could color. I promise she won't choke on it. This name, I was watching the Daily Wire sports show, and I was in their chat, and this was back like when they only had 60 or 70,000 subscribers, so their chat was relatively small because their show was at like 6:30 or 7:30 in the morning, so their chat was relatively close, and somebody came in trying to troll because they were the Daily Wire. So I changed my screen name from, like, I think I had Navy Vet as my screen name, something generic. And I changed it to they were talking about the they said they were talking about quid pro quo. And I was like, you know what? And I thought they said squid pro quo, and I was like, that's hilarious. So I changed my name, and then I started my channel, and it just sort of stuck. And I'm like, this is perfect. Like, there's no like, oh yeah, my favorite clip of you was when you were straightening up and Sarah Boone's lawyer grabbed the flexible mic and I think you were the one who screenshot it, or who took that clip. Because when people clip my streams, I don't know if you're aware of this, but whoever clips the stream, the creator can see who clipped the stream. So like, I know who when someone clips the show, I know who does it. So FYI, just in case, you know, you clip somebody's stream. Oh, I'm sorry, I messed it up. I'm sorry. There you go. Yeah, there were a lot of good Sarah Boone moments. But yeah, that's how I got my name. And then Rosalind made me a logo and sent it to me. And I was like, you know, this is perfect. Like, this is perfect. I could not have done anything that I'm doing right now if it wasn't for Rogue Mama and Rosalind Duke, because those two have helped me so freaking much with like figuring out how to YouTube, and then Flashman with the cases that he researches and finds and says, hey, you might be interested in this. Like I could not have done anything. I would probably, if it was just me, I would probably only have like 5 subscribers if it was just me on my own. Because I could not figure out any of this stuff. I still don't know what I'm doing. Can you turn that down just a little bit so I don't get copyright struck? Thank you. You can turn it up where you can hear it, but she turns on my iPad. She turns on the music app, and she has her own like playlist. So oh my god, Gabby, can I use that? Like, cause oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Gabby, you just gave me a merch idea. Not that I sell a lot of merch, like, but still, it's just one of those things where somebody asked for it, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? Because it's not costing me anything to make the merch store. So it's kind of one of those, like, well, you know, we'll see what happens. And she's got Let's Go. Because I always said Let's Go to her, and now she plays that song Let's Go all the time. That's her new favorite song. All right. All right. let's get back to this since it's taking me like forever. Um, I will make a folder for this on the Discord, and I will post all these things. Um, and if interested, I will actually do a quick video reading this. Where I don't, you know, it's not let it go. It's not that. It is let's go, and it's just let's go, let's go, let's go all the time. But I will make a video just reading this if people are actually interested in what the arrest affidavit says and don't want to go into the Discord and read it for yourself. I know some people just want the documents, and then some people want to be read the documents because it's easier. And you know what? And I am perfectly okay with doing that. All right. On October 14th at approximately 14:40, I, Detective Gilberti, was notified of this death investigation. Upon notification, I learned that the injured female was an active Orange County Sheriff's Office employee. Eloilda Shea held the rank of lieutenant over the Professional Standards Division. I learned the 911 caller was Anthony Shea, who is a former Orange County Sheriff's Office employee. Anthony Shea, a retired sergeant from the Orange County Sheriff's Office on August 16th of 2024. I responded to that address as the lead investigator, along with Detective Fabian Ramirez, crime scene investigator Jacqueline Nath, and crime scene investigator Kelly Wood. On October 14th of 2024, at approximately 15:07, I arrived on scene. Eloilda Shea was not on the scene when I arrived, and I did not observe her body. Detective Andrew Calise responded to Advent Health East Hospital and learned Eloilda Shea. And I apologize to the deceased if I am pronouncing her name wrong. Please don't haunt me. I am doing my best. Learned Eloilda Shea had a suspected single GS wound to the right side temple. Hospital staff were unable to determine if there was projectile in her head. The projectile was not located by hospital staff. Upon arrival, I observed the residence secured with yellow crime scene tape. I learned death occurred in a bedroom located on the second floor. I learned Anthony Shea was inside the residence on the first floor. I entered the residence in order to make contact with Anthony Shea. I observed Anthony Shea sitting down in a chair between the living room and kitchen. Anthony Shea agreed to take part in an interview and exited the residence with myself and Detective Ramirez. On October 14th at approximately 15:13, Detective Ramirez and I conducted an interview with Anthony Shea inside an agency-issued unmarked vehicle. Prior to the interview, Anthony Shea was advised he was being recorded. See, and here's my only issue with this. He says that he was advised he was being recorded, but did you ever say I advised him of his rights? There's my problem. Yes, right here, Flash fan. Flash fan, never talk to the cops. Bye, Gabby. Have a good one. Never talk to the cops. Cops are not your friend. Sorry, Jeff. Cops are not your friend. In a non-professional capacity, out at the bar, having a drink, your best friend's a cop, great. But if you interact with that person on a professional basis when they are doing their job, they ain't your friends. They're not your friends. They might be your drinking buddies on a Friday, but Saturday morning in a professional capacity, they aren't your friends. Always ask for a lawyer. Anthony Shea provided sworn testimony during the interview. The following is a general synopsis of the interview. But he's my cousin. Yeah. Even I always use this as an example. When I was in an accident, somebody rear-ended me at a stoplight. This guy, who happens to be my mother's neighbor, which is the funniest part, because now he has to see me all the time. And I make sure I park the back end of my vehicle facing his house so that when he walks out of his carport door, he sees the back end of my car and gets reminded that he hit it. What did you do? What'd you do? So, but when I was rear-ended, this guy was talking to the cops. I knew they had body cams. I said, "Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. What do you need me to do? Do you need anything else from me? And can I go?" That's it. And I was the quote unquote victim in the case. Um, and you still don't offer up anything to cops. My mom started talking and I looked at her and I'm like, body cam, shut up. And she zipped it. Huh. You don't talk to cops. Anthony Shea started the interview by saying, "We had a bad night last night arguing about my affair." Anthony Shea had an affair which was uncovered and became the subject of an internal investigation at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Oh, to get your hands on those documents. Uh, oh no. See, I'm torn because I lost my other cousin when he was shot and killed in the line of duty. It was my other cousin's brother. Ah, that's that's just that's just I'm so sorry. I have no words for that. That's a very unfortunate situation. And the verdict watch, we are 8 hours and 20 minutes in, and there is still no movement on the cameras. Yeah, and somebody else is a family member of somebody else was recently in an officer involved shooting, and it turns out that the officer, as according to preliminary reports, it was not a justified shooting. So oh, it made national news. Yeah, I'm sorry, Holly. I'm sorry you had to go through that as a family member. I can't imagine. Like, I luckily have not lost any family members to violence like that. Um, it's unfortunate that that happens to people, and you always forget that when you hear about a story with two people, you forget that there's, family members and other people involved that don't get the support or media attention that you think that they should. Um, Anthony Shea stated he resigned due to being under investigation for having intercourse on duty. Well, damn. Damn. You not only had an affair, but you had an affair while you were working. I just don't know. There's just certain things that you don't do, and that is one of them. Elwilda Shea would come home from work each day with new pieces of information that was uncovered during the investigation. Elwilda Shea was upset and would cry once she returned home. On October 13th, Anthony Shea, Elwilda Shea, and their children went to church. While at church, Anthony and Elwilda Shea donated blood. That's a random fact to include. Elwilda Shea told the blood donation personnel to destroy Anthony Shea's blood donation due to his affair. What? That's just weird. Anthony and Elwilda Shea returned home that evening and engaged in an argument regarding the blood donation, the Orange County Sheriff's Office internal investigation, and Elwilda Shea's difficulty at work due to being associated with the investigation. They argued throughout the night until approximately 0300. On October 14th, at approximately 0330, Anthony Shea decided to leave for the night due to the argument. However, Elwilda Shea asked him not to leave. Anthony Shea returned inside. After the argument, Anthony and Elwilda Shea had sex. Smexy time. Elwilda Shea washed up after that and went to bed. Once again, not a vital fact that needed to be said. Like, there's just certain things that you don't you don't need to give attention to. Like, there's just certain things that you don't need to say, and that is one of them. When Elwilda woke up in the morning, she was very tired and emotionally drained due to recent marital problems. Elwilda wanted to sleep in and spent most of the day in bed. She played with their children for a little bit and then went back to bed. Shea was scheduled to work October 14th, however, called in sick. Anthony Shea could not advise who she contacted or in what manner she notified them that she would not be going into work. Anthony Shea identified Ella Shea's supervisor as Wright. She asked Anthony Shea for space and to take the children out so she could rest. At 13:30, Anthony Shea left the residence with their 2 children and went to Publix on Curry Ford Road. Anthony Shea purchased a few items to include Brussels sprouts, ice cream, fruit, and cookies. Once again, not important details. Like, details that don't need to be. It's all about that, like, when you put the emphasis on the wrong things and it makes you look like you're lying. That would be like one of my indicators that maybe I need to investigate this a little more because this person's giving me details that aren't relevant to the situation. I needed to know that you left the house. I did not need to know what you bought. Anthony Shea was gone from the residence for approximately 30 minutes. Shea returned to the residence and was inside for approximately 10 minutes until he discovered Ella Shea in the upstairs bedroom. Anthony Shea entered and unlocked the bedroom and discovered Ella Shea on the bed in a pool of blood. I see the pew-pew. It was on her chest on the side. Shea observed the firearm to be Ella Shea's personally owned firearm, a compact 9mm Glock. Anthony Shea and Ella Shea both carry that firearm on a regular basis and each carried it the previous day. Anthony Shea initially stated he did not touch the firearm. Anthony Shea later said he moved the firearm to the side, but it remained on the bed. So he lied. Initially lied. This is all just the weirdness. Anthony Shea pulled Ella Shea from the bed, initiated CPR, and contacted 911 from his cell phone. Anthony Shea felt a pulse when he initiated CPR. Anthony Shea stopped CPR and checked Ella's pulse on the left side of her neck. There was a pulse. Anthony Shea continued CPR until first responders arrived. Yeah, I get that, but there is a certain thing of, like, when someone is not telling you the truth, one of the telltale signs, not the only thing, and it could be just them being nervous, but when they give you details that are not relevant to the incident. So it's, yeah. Yes. It would be in my it would be in my list of my clips. So you can actually go into YouTube Studio and see what's clipped from your thing. Did you clip Gerbil? Saying that he left to go to Publix would be important information. What you bought is just one of those details that is not pertinent to the situation and just makes me think that someone needs to be investigated further because their story is just, it's like putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. It just, it's accurate, but just a little, yeah. He probably just, they probably just asked him what happened and where he went. I don't know any cop that I've ever seen that would ask anybody what they bought. Angel, stay off the table, please. Hold on. Mama duties. She mad at me. She's big mad. Oh. Hey. I took something that she wanted to put in her mouth and I took it away from her and she got mad at me. Yeah. Toddler problems. Not everything in this world is edible. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's true too. But when you think you there, Flash fan, I just wanted to think. What do you think of this theory? Um, when someone is a cop, they think they know everything about the law and they think they are smarter than the other people investigating the crime or the situation. So they think they can get away with it. Maybe that's it. So that's just my personal it Baby, you're gonna get me. Yours is right there. Where this is the toddler life of not knowing. She knows what she wants. But she can't express it. I don't know what she wants. And we end up getting in an argument. She gets mad at me because she thinks that I know what she wants and I have absolutely no idea. And we're not at the point where we're not at the point where we can express what we want very easily. All right, Flash fan, and I think when I'm done reading this affidavit, I am going to go. I will keep an eye on Verdict Watch, and if anything comes back, I will go live today. We started doing sign language with her, but didn't follow through with it as much as I should have. Yep. It doesn't matter what rank you achieve, you know the questions to ask and what you're looking for. Yeah, and and yeah, if I don't see you, have a great vacation. Don't have too much fun on the beach. Don't eat too much. And I will see you when you get back. All right. Anthony Shea stated LOL Deshay has attempted suicide in the past. LOL Deshay previously attempted due to being the victim of a battery before their relationship. She had suicidal thoughts again when her father died. She was afraid of the stigma of being in law enforcement and having depression. Anthony Shea was asked, "Did you have anything to do with what happened to her today?" He responded, "No." Anthony Shea confirmed his residence had surveillance cameras. The surveillance cameras are monitored through the Nest application, which is stored in his cell phone. The doorbell camera is not currently working. However, the other exterior cameras are functioning. During the interview, he provided the Orange County Sheriff's with consent to search his residence, his cell phone, and his cameras. Anthony Shea used the full phrase, "full access." The consent was captured on the audio recording. I conducted a walkthrough of the bedroom where she was discovered. The scene is the master bedroom on the second floor. I observed blood on the headboard, the mattress, the sheets, a pillow, and the floor at the base of the bed. A small black 9mm firearm was observed on the bed. 9mm casing was recovered on the floor next to the bed. 2 cell phones were discovered on the bed, and a third cell phone was located on the nightstand. A projectile was not recovered inside the bedroom. Crime scene investigator Nath photographed the scene and collected evidence to include the firearm and casing. During the search of the residence, 3 Apple iPhones were discovered and collected. One belonged to Anthony Shea, one belonged to Ella Wilda, and one belonged to the Orange County Sheriff's Department. An iPad was located in the living room. Anthony Shea provided consent to search all devices. Based on the information provided by Anthony Shea, the above-listed digital devices were all located. The passcodes provided by Anthony Shea unlocked each device. Based on this information, there was reason to believe Anthony Shea had ownership and regular access to each digital device. An initial review of the devices was conducted on scene. Upon accessing Anthony Shea's cell phone, a text message thread was observed between Anthony and Ella Wilda Shea. Anthony Shea's cell phone contained the Nest application, which allowed display and review of the surveillance cameras on the cell phone. The Nest application contained surveillance video related to the death, specifically video of Anthony Shea leaving and returning to the residence. Their surveillance video from the residence confirms Anthony Shea left the residence at approximately 13:32 and returned approximately 14:01. At approximately 14:15, Anthony Shea is seen bringing his children into a neighbor's residence. At approximately 14:16, Anthony Shea is returning to the residence and appears to be on the phone. Upon accessing Ella Wilda Shea's cell phone, the corresponding text message thread was observed between Anthony and Ella Wilda Shea. It appears the last outgoing message was sent from Ella Wilda Shea to Anthony Shea at 13:30. The devices were initially collected with Anthony Shea's consent and transported to the Orange County Sheriff's Office Digital Forensics Unit for processing. October 14th at approximately 22:25, Anthony Shea had returned to the residence and made contact with deputy sheriffs that were still on scene while a cleaning crew cleaned the residence. That's quick. Anthony Shea revoked consent to search his residence. The information was provided to me by Detective Ramirez through a phone call. Based on Anthony Shea's revocation of consent to search his residence, I considered his consent to be withdrawn to search the cell phones. The cell phone investigation ceased pending a search warrant. On October 15th, 2024, a search warrant was obtained to search all 4 collected digital devices. The search warrant was signed off by Honorable Judge Greg Tynan. The search warrant was provided to the Orange County Sheriff's Office Digital Forensics Unit. On October 15th, 2024, I collected surveillance video from the Publix located at that address, which recorded October 14th, 24. Upon review of the surveillance video, I observed the following. 13:44, Anthony Shea and his children arrive and enter the Publix. 13:50, Anthony Shea and his children are captured at the self-checkout, making a purchase. 13:52, Anthony Shea and his children are captured leaving the Publix and the parking lot. Based on the collected video, Anthony Shea's statement that he went to Publix with his children was corroborated. The video was collected as evidence. On October 16th, an initial review of the digital devices conducted from the residence was conducted. A search was conducted of Anthony Shea's cell phone, the black Apple iPhone. The following is a synopsis of the timeline. 8:06, text message from her, can you take the dog out? To her, yes, love coming. From her, how are the girls? They're okay. I fed them twice. 1:30, just the Brussels. Tony, I can't do this anymore. Please understand it's too much. What you did to me, I can't anymore. Take the girls for a drive and give me space. 1:32, device notification, front door to residence opened, front door to residence closed. 1:38, text message to Ella Wilda, we just left. The girls tried to come upstairs. You locked the door. I'm sorry about last night and what I said. I know this investigation and all the BS I've caused has us both depressed. I think the word at church yesterday was fitting. Whether we sell the house, don't sell, whatever you want, I will do. I love you. Get some sleep, my love. Want me to bring a guava con queso for dessert. 2:01, front door to residence opened. Text message to Ella Wilda, I'm downstairs. Our counseling is for this Wednesday at 1600. I sent you an invite. Let me know when you're awake. I'll keep these chicks busy with popsicles. 2:11, cell phone travels 2 flights of stairs. Outgoing call to 911. Device notification, front door to residence opened. Oh, this is hilarious. Washington case yesterday where the jury foreperson asked if that is your verdict, and they responded, oh, it has to be unanimous, and said they were 4-2 split, not guilty. Oh my goodness. Holy crap. I can't even imagine. Oh, this and that is why the judge always needs to tell someone that it has to be unanimous. Based on the review of Anthony Shea's cell phone, he communicated with Ella Wilda Shea by text message throughout the day. Ella Wilda asked Anthony to take the children out so she can have space. Tony, I can't do this anymore. The cell phone received notifications from the digital front door lock when it opened and closed. These notifications corresponded to their surveillance camera activations. Anthony Shea sent the message, we just left, and noted the bedroom door was locked. Anthony Shea advised when he was back at the residence, I'm downstairs. Approximately 3 minutes later, Anthony Shea contacts 911. Preliminary search was conducted of Ella Wildeshay's Orange County Sheriff's Office issued cell phone. A text message sent to Antorio Wright. Good morning, Captain. I think I have food poisoning because I'm unable to hold anything down. If you're okay with it, I'm going to sit today out. Absolutely. I hope you feel better. Thank you, sir. Food poisoning is always the way to go because no one wants to see you upchuck or the other way in public. So if you're gonna call in sick, that's generally an excuse to use that goes out pretty good. So, LOL Lachey's cell phone. She was texting friends. Audio 1:31. The audio recorder begins recording. Front door to residence open. Front door to residence closed. That text message from him. Incoming call from somebody else. Missed call. The audio recorder stopped recording due to the call coming in. Interesting. So she recorded it. I just can't. At the initiation of the audio recorded message, a male voice can be heard based on the content of the recording and the fact of the 911 call is contained within the audio recording. The voice on the recording is identified as Anthony Shea. Based on the length and content, the recording captures Anthony Shea from when he left the residence to when he returned to the residence and includes when he calls 911. At no point during the recording is a gunshot heard. That would be weird. That's weird. That's really weird. 03. I'm right here. Muffled child voice appears. Daddy, are you there? Anthony Shea says right here. Said, all right, just go. She's sleeping. The sound of the door closing. Silence for approximately 39 minutes and 21 seconds of no activity. Makes me wonder what she recorded. Or why she recorded. Was she knew something was going to happen? Or was she recording for the purposes of if something happened to her, we know what happens to her. At 40 hours and 28 minutes, the door opens. Someone is silently moving inside the room for 50 seconds. Anthony Shea contacts 911. My wife shot, help. I'm not doing CPR. Can just get someone here now. I'm doing CPR. Door opens. Girls, stay outside. The Glock is on the effing bed. 911 dispatcher can be heard. 911 dispatcher, if CPR is still in progress, I'm not stopping till they get here. I'm a former cop. No pulse. Come on, Shelly. Review of body-worn camera was conducted. Following general synopsis, the video captured. This is making me wonder what was happening. Why start a recording that lasts over 40 hours? That's just weird to me. Why did you not know that you started a recording? Because this little one starts recordings all the time and doesn't realize she does it. Let's see. Nothing of note. Anthony Shea says, what's the timeline, and gets the iPad. Anthony Shea questions what time the shot was heard. Ugh. Just more timeline of events, which I will post because it's pretty interesting. Based on the facts and circumstances, the investigation determined Anthony Shea sent the Brussels message from Ella Wildeshay's cell phone to his own cell phone. The evidence shows Anthony Shea then 3 seconds later inadvertently activated the audio recorder on Ella Wildeshay's cell phone, which captures the recorded audio for 54 minutes and 17 seconds. A gunshot is not heard on the captured audio. There is no evidence to suggest Ella Wildeshay was alive during the recording. That's insane. So he started the audio for 54 minutes. The audio recorded message captures Anthony Shea returning to the bedroom and remaining in the room for approximately 50 seconds prior to notifying 911. Anthony Shea does not immediately provide medical aid. The 911 call is captured on the audio recorded message. Anthony Shea does not become emotional or react to the condition of LOL to Shea until the 911 call is answered by the dispatcher. Oh, you recorded yourself not giving a shit. Oh, that's interesting. During this interview with Anthony Shea, he suggested Elowilda Shea was depressed and overwhelmed. Anthony described Elowilda as stress is being caused due to his infidelity, the active investigation at the sheriff's office, and Elowilda Shea's close proximity to the active investigation due to her position of employment. Anthony Shea provided the previous instances where Elowilda Shea was depressed due to an assault and due to her father's passing. He described her threatened or attempted suicide related to those occurrences. At this time, there is no known documentation of these threats or attempts. Based on the totality of circumstances, the investigation determined Elowilda Shea did not commit suicide. Anthony Shea did commit the murder of Elowilda Shea and attempted to conceal his actions under the guise of suicide. Anthony Shea established an alibi through digital devices and surveillance video. Anthony Shea manufactured evidence by sending digital communications from Elowilda Shea's phone to his own. Anthony Shea denied Elowilda Shea the possibility of treatment and life-saving measures by delaying contacting 911 for emergency medical services. He attempted to mislead responding deputy sheriffs by providing misinformation regarding the nature of the incident. He attempted to mislead detectives by establishing an alibi and providing a motive for suicide. The investigation determined Anthony Shea's actions were organized and premeditated. Based on the facts and circumstances of the investigation, Anthony Shea consciously decided to commit the murder of Elowilda Shea. Elowilda Shea's death was caused by the criminal act of Anthony Shea. Anthony Shea knowingly and intentionally fired a firearm at Elowilda Shea, killing her. There is no evidence to suggest Elowilda Shea had a firearm or was threatening Anthony Shea at the time of the homicide. Anthony Shea prepared to kill Elowilda Shea by arming himself with a firearm and firing one time at Elowilda within close proximity, striking her on the right side of the head. Anthony Shea's act was premeditated killing of Elowilda Shea. Probable cause exists to charge Anthony Shea with first-degree murder with a firearm in violation of Florida state statute 782.04. 1A 1-1. Your affiant is seeking a warrant for the arrest of Anthony Shea. Who? That's super interesting. That is super, super interesting. This will be a case that I want to follow because one, Orange County is, we have a lot of interactions with Orange County Sheriff's Department and how they handle things based on all of the Sarah Boone stuff. Documents are easy to get. There's a good chance it will be recorded because Florida is pretty open about those things. And it's and it involves a crooked law enforcement officer, which is always an interesting thing that I like to call out. So we have all the documents. They're still on verdict watch. They're 8 hours and 47 minutes in. I am going to get going. I will be keeping an eye on it throughout the day. If anything happens, I will definitely come back. Thanks for hanging out with me on a kind of a boring chill stream. Yeah, the term Florida man doesn't exist for no reason. And part of the reason that well, as you've alluded to, it exists because Florida is they have sunshine laws. They are so open with their crazy. I'm sure every other state has crazy too. But those crazies are kept under wraps because the states are not openly admitting to the fact that they have crazy people and letting us see all the documents and the court hearings. Whereas Florida's like, here's our crazy. It's on full display. So I have to go do mama duties. I have to get her lunch and then possibly down for a nap. I will keep an eye on this jury. I will make a stream. I will set it up for 4 o'clock roughly. Don't take that as I am going live at 4 o'clock. That is just I like to have a stream ready so that I don't have to sit and make you know how it goes when you're like trying to set up a stream fast and you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and you miss something. So I like to have it set up, ready to go, so that if anything happens, all I have to do is hit the live button and we're in. So I will see you guys later. Yeah, sunshine laws help with that. We all have crazy. Colorado is sometimes just as bad as Florida. And Wisconsin, is because they have CCAP. We don't get the documents, but a lot of trials are streamed. Um, you have access to the charges being filed pretty easily. Wisconsin is the Florida of the North. On that note, I will see you guys later. If they don't come up with a jury verdict today, I will start back again tomorrow at 10:30. Um, and I will keep an eye on it in the morning. If anything happens, I will let you guys know. Tomorrow I am doing um, Tessa's story with Captain Kern at 1:30 Eastern. We will be doing that, but if anything happens during that stream, if we haven't had a verdict by then and something happens, I will cut in on that stream. Tonight we're doing night court and we are starting the CNN or the Navy vet versus CNN defamation trial. I heard it's kind of juicy. And it's one of those things of you never know. You can't predict what a jury is or isn't doing, and they're probably on their lunch hour right now anyway. So you can never predict. Every jury is different. Despite what people like to say about people not agreeing with each other and it taking a long time, it's good for the defense. If it takes a short time, it's good for the prosecution. Every jury is different. You can't predict anything. We can use all me talking about the jury is my conjecture based on what I think. Which may or may not be accurate. I don't know. It could go either way. I think they are focused on the kidnapping charge, and that's what they're hung up on. But I could be completely wrong and off base. If I were a jury member, that's what I would be hung up on, is the kidnapping charge, because she was grabbed by the hair, but was she really? How hard was she grabbed by the hair? It's nuanced. But I will see you guys either later today for a verdict, or tonight at about 7:30 for the start of the CNN defamation trial, because Lord knows I hate CNN. So this should be interesting. Thanks for putting up with my complete mom. This is my cleaning shirt. So if you ever see this, it's because I've been cleaning. Yeah, it's my shirt that I don't care if it gets ripped and bleached and stuff like that, because I got it out of a donation bin. It was a lost and found that was going to Goodwill that afternoon, and the person who was going to donate it all said, go through it, and if you see anything you want, take it. So I did. So this is my cleaning shirt. So if you ever see this, it's because I'm being super lazy or I've been super busy. But I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for dealing with my ramblings today. I love you all, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.